Just released, confidential documents leak from a new royal biography has exposed Prince Andrew's secret life. And shockingly, it's Sarah Ferguson herself who's at the center. Allegations of hidden money, Epstein ties, and betrayal are flooding the press. The palace is silent, but the evidence speaks volumes. The leak hits what the bombshell documents claim. The royal silence just shattered. A bombshell leak tied to the 2025 biography. Entitled "The Rise and Fall of the House of York," has set fire to everything we thought we knew about Prince Andrew. And this time, it's not anonymous whispers. It's documents, emails, names, dates, details. According to early revelations, these documents expose a deeper, darker version of Andrew's long-denied ties to Jeffrey Epstein, one that stretches back over a decade, implicating not just Andrew, but also Sarah Ferguson, his former wife and longtime defender. What's inside? Reports say the leaks include email correspondence, private testimonies, and even suggestions of classified materials being passed indirectly to foreign intelligence services, all allegedly connected to Epstein's vast and dangerous network. This goes far beyond the already explosive scandals of the past. One of the most shocking claims? That compromising personal information about Andrew, possibly photos, recordings, or secret financial data, may have been shared, traded, or used as leverage by people linked to Epstein, and that Sarah might have known. The allegations are not vague. They're being called credible and specific by journalists who've reviewed early copies of the biography. The leaks paint a picture not of a misunderstood royal, but of a man deeply entangled in a world of power, wealth, and shadow dealings, protected for years by silence. As one source close to the publishing team said, "This isn't rumor. This is paper. Signed, sent, and hidden. Until now." With the release of this biography and the accompanying documents, the York family's private past is no longer protected. Sarah Ferguson's involvement only deepens the shock. The fallout is already starting, and the palace is dead silent. Next, we go deeper. How far back do Andrew and Epstein really go? And what was Sarah's role before the world found out? Shadow past. Andrew and Epstein, more than what was public. The public thought Prince Andrew's link to Jeffrey Epstein began in the late 2000s, but the leaks say otherwise. According to entitled "The Rise and Fall of the House of York," Andrew's relationship with Epstein didn't just happen. It was strategic, long-term, and disturbingly deep. The documents reportedly reveal that the two had a connection dating back to the mid-1990s, nearly a decade earlier than previously believed. Epstein saw Andrew as more than just a royal friend. He called him, insiders say, his trophy contact, a royal badge that opened doors to elite circles, political figures, and billion-dollar deals. In return, Andrew allegedly enjoyed luxury travel, lavish properties, and access to financial networks well beyond the reach of most royals. What was once dismissed as coincidence now looks more like a carefully managed alliance, one that mixed money, power, and silence. But that's not the worst of it. According to sources quoted in the biography, Epstein kept records, emails, photos, possibly even recordings. He allegedly collected material on his most powerful contacts. Andrew, they claim, was one of the most sensitive names in the vault. And now, parts of that vault appear to be leaking. The leaks even suggest Sarah Ferguson may have benefited from this association. Claims point to financial gifts, debt bailouts, and even indirect payments made to her during times of personal financial crisis. If this all proves true, it doesn't just damage Andrew's image. It destroys decades of palace efforts to protect the royal brand. and exposes a high-ranking royal's private world of dangerous friendships and reckless trust. As one royal insider said, they didn't just know Epstein, they needed him. The deeper this goes, the more it threatens to rewrite everything about the Yorks, their legacy, and the illusion of distance from Epstein's crimes. Next, we go straight to the heart of the scandal. What do the leaks reveal about Sarah Ferguson, and was she more involved than anyone imagined? Sarah's tangled web, what the leaks say about her involvement. The leaks don't just expose Prince Andrew, they pull Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, directly into the fire. For years, Sarah maintained a delicate public image. The fallen royal turned charity advocate, a woman once on the inside, now navigating life just outside the palace walls. But according to these newly surfaced documents, her hands may not be clean. The biography reveals leaked emails and handwritten letters allegedly showing Sarah personally requesting money from Jeffrey Epstein, even after his 2008 conviction. One note reportedly reads, "You've always been there for me. I'm asking again." The implication? She knew who he was and still reached out. Sources claim she received direct payments or loans used to pay off mounting debts, keep up appearances, and fund private expenses during her financially unstable years. What once looked like unfortunate borrowing now appears as part of a pattern of secretive dealings. But it gets worse. In one leaked exchange, Sarah is said to have praised Epstein, calling him loyal and generous, even while publicly distancing herself from him. That contradiction has not gone unnoticed. In fact, several UK charities, once proud to have Sarah as a patron, have cut ties since the leaks dropped. The public backlash has been swift. Comment sections flood with disappointment, calling her actions deceitful, calculated, and unforgivable. It's not just about money, it's about trust. About using a royal connection for private gain, while pretending to serve the public. One former charity board member told a reporter, "If these emails are real, we were lied to and used." The portrait being painted now isn't one of innocence, but of someone deeply embedded in a system of secrets, protecting reputation while profiting in silence. So was it desperation, manipulation, or both? Next, we peel back the layers of Sarah's money trail and uncover the hidden financial maze that's been quietly shaping this royal scandal for decades. The hidden financial maze, debts, deals, and desperation. Behind the smiling photos and royal titles, Sarah Ferguson's financial world was quietly crumbling, and according to the leaked documents, she was willing to do anything to keep it from falling apart. The biography and attached evidence paint a picture of chronic debt, unpaid bills, and years of financial mismanagement. Insiders say Sarah's money troubles date back to the early 2000s, with debts reportedly climbing into millions of pounds. Lavish spending, unpaid staff, credit defaults, and crucially, no steady income to support her lifestyle. So how did she survive? According to the leaks, Sarah turned to royal privilege as currency, reportedly offering access packages to foreign businessmen, private donors, and shadowy middlemen. These offers included meetings with Prince Andrew, behind-the-scenes royal experiences, and introductions to inner-circle contacts. And many of these deals were paid in cash, with no official records. One document refers to a 2010 incident where she was filmed offering access to Andrew for £500,000, an embarrassment that briefly made headlines, but was quickly buried. Now, similar incidents are being unearthed and tied to Epstein's circle, showing a pattern rather than an accident. Epstein's name, once again, surfaces here, The leaks allege that he helped facilitate some of these introductions, even providing financial lifelines during her most desperate periods. That connection, financial favors in exchange for elite access, is now central to the growing storm. It gets even more damning. One internal memo from a charity partner refers to Sarah's unexplained donations, money received through third-party firms, raising money laundering concerns. While no criminal charges have been filed, legal experts say the leaks could trigger official investigations. A royal financial expert told reporters, Sarah wasn't just spending recklessly. She was surviving on borrowed time and borrowed influence. The question now isn't just how much debt she had, but how far she was willing to go to erase it. Next, we turn to the explosive biography itself. Who wrote it? What makes it credible? And why the palace can't ignore it anymore? NT. The book drop. What the biography claims and what makes it credible. On August 7th, 2025, the royal family faced something they couldn't spin, ignore, or silence. The release of entitled, The Rise and Fall of the House of York. And this wasn't just another tabloid exposé. This was 4 years of investigative research, backed by Freedom of Information requests, first-hand interviews, and now, leaked documents. The book's author, Clara Winton, is a respected former BBC investigative journalist known for exposing political corruption and aristocratic scandals. Her involvement alone gives the book weight. But what really set Entitled apart was its depth. Not gossip, but pages of evidence, verified testimonies, and paper trails. According to media outlets like The Guardian and People.com, the book directly quotes former palace aides, financial advisors, and Epstein network insiders, all pointing toward a web of secrecy wrapped around Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. The biography claims Epstein's relationship with Andrew was transactional and strategic. Sarah received direct benefits, even while pretending to condemn him. Financial dealings were deliberately hidden through layers of intermediaries. Certain royal insiders helped suppress information for years. After the release, both Andrew and Sarah were seen in public, but observers noted they looked visibly shaken. According to People magazine, their body language was tense, withdrawn, and uncharacteristically cold toward each other. But the most damning aspect? The fact that this isn't a rumor. It's a published book, with citations, dates, and names, something the palace can't dismiss as online noise. A media analyst put it best, "This isn't hearsay. This is now part of the public record." The leaks might have cracked the door, but Entitled kicked it wide open. The royal image, once guarded by tradition and silence, is now exposed, in print. Next, we dive into the fallout, as charities, titles, and reputations begin collapsing one by one. Backlash hits. Charities, public trust, and the fall from grace. The fallout was instant and brutal. Within 48 hours of the leaked documents and the release of entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York, the consequences for Sarah Ferguson began piling up. What had once been whispers of scandal turned into real-world rejection. Several major UK charities, including organizations she'd supported for years, announced they were cutting ties. Patronage listings were quietly deleted from official websites. Press statements were blunt. One children's charity declared they had a zero-tolerance policy for impropriety and reputational risk, and Sarah's name no longer aligned with that mission. Then came the titles. After years of post-divorce ambiguity, sources inside the palace confirmed what had long been avoided. Sarah was stripped of any remaining formal usage of Duchess of York, no longer considered a working royal figure by any measure. It was a final, silent distancing, one the public immediately noticed. deals collapsed just as fast. A children's book bearing her name was abruptly pulled from its upcoming publication. Speaking engagements were canceled without notice. Her personal brand, once built on resilience and reinvention, had become radioactive. Longtime supporters and royal fans expressed devastation. Comment sections flooded with betrayal. What had once been seen as a misunderstood royal underdog was now being redefined as something else entirely. A woman who knowingly accepted help from a convicted predator, misused royal access, and smiled through the silence. Even insiders, many of whom had quietly defended Sarah in private, began speaking anonymously. One former aide said, "The palace can't save her from this one. She crossed a line, and the public won't forget it." The damage isn't just personal, it's institutional. With Sarah falling, the entire York family name is in jeopardy. The monarchy isn't just embarrassed, it's bleeding. Next, we look at the silence, because the palace has said almost nothing, and that silence might be hiding something far worse. The silence from palace. Denials, dodges, and dangerous calm. As the scandal exploded across headlines, the one sound missing was the palace. Not a single formal statement, no denial, no clarification, no defense of Prince Andrew, and definitely nothing to shield Sarah Ferguson. For a monarchy that once rushed to control every narrative, this eerie quiet has sparked even more suspicion. Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, and Clarence House all remained tight-lipped. The press offices dodged questions, gave vague no-comment responses, and refused to confirm or deny any details from the leaked documents or the biography entitled. But this silence wasn't just damage control, it felt like something else. It felt strategic. Observers noted how quickly other royals, including Prince William and Catherine, seemed to shift their public tone, quietly distancing themselves from anything involving the House of York. At one royal event just days after the book's release, Andrew's absence was not only expected, it was pointed. For critics, the palace's refusal to publicly confront the leaks reads like quiet admission. As one former royal correspondent put it, in the royal world, saying nothing often means everything. It's what they don't say that matters most. Behind closed doors, sources suggest that advisors are in crisis mode, reviewing past communications, financial links, and all charitable affiliations tied to Sarah and Andrew. But the longer the silence continues, the more dangerous it becomes. Every day without a statement allows public imagination and anger to grow. What once looked like calculated discretion now feels like paralyzed panic. The monarchy has faced scandals before, but rarely one this personal, this documented, and this public. The big question now isn't why they're silent. It's what exactly are they trying to protect? The institution? The crown? Or secrets far darker than anyone imagined? Because silence isn't neutral anymore. It's a signal. And it might mean this story is about to go even deeper. Coming next, the legal storm that's already forming, and how it could drag the palace straight into court. Legal storm brewing, lawsuits, investigations, and public pressure. As the scandal escalates, it's not just about reputation anymore. It's about consequences. Behind the headlines and behind the silence, a legal storm is quietly building. And both Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson may be closer to courtroom battles than ever before. Recent investigative reports suggest that law enforcement is quietly reopening old inquiries tied to Andrew's use of royal police protection, including allegations that he misused those resources to obtain private data on one of his accusers. That alone could trigger a new wave of legal action, both civil and potentially criminal. But now, with the release of Entitled and the accompanying leaked documents, fresh evidence may be entering the arena. Lawyers representing victims tied to Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking network are already reviewing the book's contents. If even one document is authenticated, it could serve as material in upcoming civil lawsuits, pulling Andrew back into a spotlight he's fought desperately to avoid. Sarah Ferguson isn't in the clear either. Her financial ties, if proven to involve money from questionable sources, could expose her to legal risk, especially in the realms of fraud, money laundering, or even charity violations. Investigations into where the money came from and how it was used are already being requested by watchdog groups and advocacy coalitions. The pressure isn't just legal, it's public. Advocacy groups, royal transparency watchdogs, and survivor-led organizations are demanding answers. Online petitions have gained tens of thousands of signatures calling for formal investigations, not just into Andrew and Sarah, but into how the monarchy protected them for so long. A legal analyst told The Times, "If prosecutors want to act, they now have fuel, and the public won't tolerate more silence." What was once a media disaster is morphing into a judicial crisis. And if this storm reaches court, the Crown's veil of privacy may finally tear wide open. Next, we shift focus to the human cost, the daughters caught in the crossfire and the legacy now on the line. The human fallout, family, legacy, and the daughters caught in between. This scandal isn't just tearing through headlines, it's tearing through a family. While the world focuses on Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, two people are being dragged into the wreckage: Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. They haven't spoken publicly, but they don't have to. Their silence is being interpreted as heartbreak. For years, Beatrice and Eugenie stood by their parents, often defending them when the press went too far. But now, the leaks don't leave room for interpretation. The emails, financial ties, and insider claims have turned the York name toxic. Events they were once proudly invited to are now quietly retracting their names from guest lists. Royal engagements once offered to them as extended family members? Gone. Photos of the sisters have gone viral, looking distressed, avoiding cameras, and skipping appearances. One report from Marie Claire noted that Eugenie canceled a charity gala appearance last minute, without explanation, just days after the book dropped. The emotional weight is clear. They're caught between loyalty and reality. And what about Sarah? Once a public figure of resilience, giving interviews, writing books, running foundations, she now faces professional collapse. Publishers are freezing contracts. Charities are ghosting her. The Duchess image she spent years rebuilding has crumbled overnight. Now, she's isolated, with her legacy hanging by threads. Public opinion, once surprisingly forgiving, is changing fast. What used to be curiosity about royal lives has turned into outrage. People want accountability. And inside the palace, even longtime royal insiders are distancing themselves, saying this is one scandal that may not be survivable. As one commentator on Sky News put it, this isn't just reputational damage, this is legacy destruction. The York family is collapsing under the weight of its secrets, and the daughters, who never asked for any of it, are left picking up the emotional pieces. Coming up next, we break down why this scandal matters more than any royal drama in recent memory, and what it could mean for the future of the monarchy itself. Why this matters, the broader meaning for monarchy, power, and truth. This isn't just another scandal, it's a full-blown reckoning. The leaked documents, explosive biography, and silence from Buckingham Palace have cracked the carefully maintained image of royalty wide open. What's at stake now goes far beyond Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. It's about the very structure of power, truth, and trust in the modern monarchy. For decades, the royal family has operated under a protective veil. Tradition, protocol, and palace control keeping stories in line. But this is different. The evidence isn't hidden behind rumors or whispers. It's published, cited, documented, and the fact that no one inside the palace is refuting it sends a message that resonates louder than any headline. If these allegations are proven true, we're not just looking at a fall from grace. We're looking at systemic failure, a monarchy that protected its own while turning away from accountability. And that forces the public to ask, if they knew, why didn't they stop it? The scandal also reveals how dangerously intertwined money, influence, and royal access can be. That someone could use their royal name to sell introductions, fund a lifestyle, and allegedly stay quiet about one of the most notorious predators in modern history. It shakes public faith to the core. For many watchers, this marks a turning point. The calls for greater transparency, modern oversight, and institutional reform are growing louder by the hour. The monarchy can no longer rely on silence and smiles. People want answers. A royal historian summed it up perfectly. This isn't about one prince or duchess, it's about a system that allowed it all to happen. So yes, it matters. Because behind every crown is a contract with the people. And right now, that contract is being questioned, louder, deeper, and more publicly than ever before. The leaks have torn the lid off years of secrecy, and this time, there's no going back. Prince Andrew's hidden connections and Sarah Ferguson's alleged involvement have ignited a storm of backlash, legal risk, and royal panic. This isn't just a scandal. It's a turning point for the monarchy. As public trust crumbles and silence stretches on, the world is watching, asking one question. Who else knew? If the palace stays quiet, the damage could be permanent. Like, share, and subscribe for the full truth. Because behind every royal curtain, there's always something darker waiting to be revealed.